Hello and welcome to my new video related to Bitcoin education. In this video, I will discuss about two famous or relative famous statements made by many people, at least in my case, in the last 12, 18 months when I discuss with them about Bitcoin. Many, they say that they don't trust Bitcoin because it has not intrinsic value and because it is not backed by anything. Let's deep dive on this. The reference book is The Seventh Property, Bitcoin and the Monetary Revolution, written by Eric Yates. And I recommend to read this book because it's one of the best I've read, and people can understand better what is Bitcoin in terms of monetary revolution and which is the problem that Bitcoin is trying to solve. So one of the most famous statements is I don't trust Bitcoin because it is not backed by anything. The dollar is backed by the Fed and the US government. The euro is backed by the ECB. What does it mean to me when a person is saying to that? It means that the person who said that has absolutely no clue about what is money and about the history of money. And it is better if you disregard everything this person says about Bitcoin because he has a big lack of education on Bitcoin. And let's see now why. Because firstly, it is an old way of thinking that generated paper money. Prior to money, people used precious metal coins, such gold, because they maintained strong monetary properties. There were six in particular: scarcity, durability, divisibility, portability, fungibility, acceptability. Meaning that this commodity should have been sellable across time, across space, and across scale. And these were the six properties that a commodity or a good should have. Paper money, the paper money became money, so because it was superior to gold in terms of divisibility and portability, but it lacked scarcity. So what was the reasoning of the people? That we could benefit from the greater divisibility and portability of the paper money as long as it was redeemable in a form that was scarce. So the idea was also a good idea so far it was redeemable by gold. You need to have as much paper money as gold, so you maintain the scarcity and you improve in divisibility and in portability. And this is when money needed to be backed by something. We needed paper money be backed by gold because not having scarcity, they are not good money. In human history, money, whatever became money, one first reason is because it was scarce. Was scarce not in terms of there were not so many of them, but it means that the stock to flow ratio, the amount of per year that the flow that it was increasing the stock to flow ratio was really high. For example, for gold is about 60, and every year between 1 and 2% of gold increase the actual stock. So the flow is 1.5% of the total stock. Since we changed money to paper money that wasn't scarce, it needed in fact to be backed by something that was. So we needed paper money be backed by gold. But since the repeal of the gold standard, politicians have retarded the meaning of the word because our money is no longer backed by something scarce. They started at the end of the World War One, and in 1971, and Nixon said there is not any more correlation between gold and the paper money. So money was not scarce, wasn't scarce at all from that, especially from that year. And governments always say that money is backed by their full faith and credit as an attempt to elude populations into belief that their credit is economically equivalent to the one of the scarcest commodity of the world. So we need to trust the government. While this is something that it never happened in the history, generally money should be scarce and you don't need to trust an entity. The property of money, it was enough to trust the money. And then the question, what is Bitcoin backed by? And nothing is the answer, and is the right answer because sound money, like gold, is not backed. Only money that lacks inherent monetary properties must be backed by another money that maintains those properties. In fact, as I said, paper money lacked scarcity, so need to be backed by something that was scarce. The idea that our base layer money need to be backed by something is like thinking from the era of paper money. Let's look now at the property. This is one of the best table I have seen in monetary in all the books that I read about the monetary history and about Bitcoin. In fact, Bitcoin doesn't require backing. It should not be backed by anything. It has inherent monetary properties superior to any other form of money that has ever existed. For example, if you look at scarcity, with this program scarcity, Bitcoin is the best. At the moment, the stock to flow ratio is about 50-55 and is similar to gold. In 2 years, it will be double than gold. So it will be the scarcest commodity in the world. Yeah, durability also. It's the top. You can see Bitcoin is superior to anything. The only thing where Bitcoin is not that good is acceptability, but because it is young. Gold has 5,000 years of history. Paper money has hundreds of years of history, while Bitcoin has only 13 years of history. Sorry. And we go on with portability. Bitcoin can be is using internet. You can move into space whenever you want. Bitcoin is the best. Divisibility as well. Bitcoin is the best. Why? Because there are 21 million Bitcoin, and every Bitcoin can be divided in 100 million Satoshi. So there will be always enough Satoshis for anyone. If someone is worried that there are not enough Bitcoin, no, there will be, because every Bitcoin is 100 million of Satoshi. And at the moment, one Satoshi is much less worth than 1 cent. So there will always be enough Satoshi for everyone. And then fungibility, Bitcoin also is as good as fiat money, because you can exchange fiat money, you can sign, they can remain. If you write something, then you cannot exactly 100%. They're not 100% fungible. And the last one is immutability. Fiat money, gold is 500 years old, 5,000 years old, and it kept with the time. Fiat money, most of the currencies of the paper money didn't endure more than 100 years or 200 years, while Bitcoin can endure forever. So far, we have internet. I hope that was clear this, because you can take this. It's very these tables is very interesting, and it show that Bitcoin is a superior form of money. The problem is not enough people are focusing on that. They focus to many other things, but this it will be clear day after day, week after week, month after month. There will be more and more people understanding that. So it's just a matter of time. The second one statement, I don't trust Bitcoin because it has not intrinsic value. Gold can be used to make decorations, and it is used in the industry because it has some electronic properties. What does it mean? Again, as the first statement, it means that the person who said that has absolutely no clue about what is money and about the history of money. And it is better if you disregard everything this person says, as I said with the other statement, because about what the person says about Bitcoin, because he has a big lack of education on Bitcoin. Let's look about why. These people, in fact, mix monetary value with market value. Let's take the example of gold. Its market value exists because it's used in the electronics or as a jewelry. Its monetary value exists because it is used as money. But one thing is market value and one thing is the monetary value. Gold's market value in electronic jewelry could go away tomorrow and it will still maintain monetary value because it has strong monetary properties. It is scarce, it is durable, it is immutable, so it has very good inherent monetary properties. All the other properties, intrinsic value as decoration or jewelry, doesn't matter with the monetary properties, but many people are used to mix them. In fact, market value is not needed for something to have monetary value. And the sentence intrinsic value associated to money doesn't make any sense. In fact, every commodity who became money didn't have an intrinsic value as money. As we have seen, each of them had inherent monetary properties. We can look at primitive form of money like raystones, like agribeads, like seashells, or like gold. All of them became money because of their properties or monetary properties, not because they had a kind of intrinsic value that it doesn't make sense. I hope that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed and you learned. Next time you hear people talking about Bitcoin has no intrinsic value or Bitcoin is not backed by anything, please educate these people because they have a big lack of education on Bitcoin. Bye and see you in the next videos.